It was like that one we did where it was like, oh, let me get settled in here. I was like, it sounds like we're having sex. That's funny.
Warning. Viewer discretion is advised.
Right? Okay. Are we good?
Yep, we're good.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Hello, I'm Hot Topic Flo.
And I'm Mihi.
And today's episode is brought to you by the letter F.
F.
Which means fuck my life.
Well, with this particular topic, it is pretty much fuck my life. The F stands for fibromyalgia. And this is something that I deal with on a daily basis. And I have dealt with since 1999.
So, what exactly is it? Is it like a chronic illness? Is it caused by mental issues, physical issues? Like,
These are good questions, Flo. And I shall gladly answer. So when I first developed this, right, I was working as an assistant manager for Hot Topic. And I remember just one day at work, I got severe pain in my lower back and the backs of my legs, like all the way down.
Ooh.
Burning, stinging, like...
that was actually going to be another one of my questions. Is it more of a burning pain, a throbbing pain? Like,
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. Yep. And it was so bad, I was crying, sitting in the back room, crying. Like, don't know what it is. It's not getting better. It's not going away. So as the day progressed, I ended up going to the emergency room. And, right, no idea, right? No idea what was causing this pain. So they gave me, oddly enough, Xanax and sent me on my merry way. Well, I took some Xanax and it didn't help really the pain, but it calmed me down from being so, you know.
freaking out like, oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Yes. And I literally, and it just got progressively worse from that day on. The pain started traveling. Like it was no longer in my lower back and my legs. It was now in my shoulders, my arms. Like I hurt literally everywhere.
Ugh.
Right? And I mean, in the beginning, yes, it was just misery because you don't know what you're dealing with, right? I went to 4 different doctors and, you know, had all these tests ran, blood work done, CAT scans, you know, they wanted to make sure that it wasn't MS. Blood work, they want to make sure it wasn't lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, even though it wasn't, you know, no swelling or anything like that. So none of these doctors could figure this out. And I'm just like, you know, what the fuck is wrong with me?
So did you end up having to see just a regular general doctor, or did they send you to specialists for this?
No, that's just it. They didn't refer me to anyone. And remind you, this was, 1999, right? So the internet hasn't really evolved a whole lot. I'm one day I'm sitting and I'm searching. Honestly, I don't even know if Google was a thing in 1999. I'm not sure.
1999, I was still seeing a pediatrician.
Yeah, right? So, shut up, Flo. Anyway, I was putting in my symptoms. Pain, anxiety.
Slow ass fucking dial up internet.
Yes.
Tell me what my issues are.
Yeah, I'm in pain. Like,
6 hours later.
yeah, that's exactly how it was. But anyway, this word came up on the screen, and it, fibromyalgia, and I'm reading about it, and I'm like, oh shit, I hope this is not what I have, because it was talking about how there was no cause and no cure. And that, people who had this would have this for the rest of their life. And I was like, no, please don't let this be it, right? So finally, it said something like, if you suspect you might have this, see a rheumatologist. And I was like, I don't even know what a rheumatologist is, right? But so, they specialize in arthritis and
So like joint and muscle crap.
yeah, like rheumatoid, things, and lupus. Those, I guess you could say, I don't know, immune system issues, right?
I thought that was a hematologist. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Isn't hemo blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would make sense for the immune system. All things can. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know these things.
You just play one on TV.
I wish.
But no, so, okay. So I end up going to a rheumatologist, right? And I know something fell. Oh, it was my glasses.
Oh.
So I end up going to a rheumatologist, and the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, please don't let this be, blah, blah, blah. And so there's and they don't do this anymore, and I wish they would. It's called a tender point test. Okay. So you have 18 specific tender points that they look for on your body. Okay. Like, one's here, one's here. They're symmetrical. So you got them on the insides of your legs, right? Here, up here by your chest, back here, shoulder blades, each side, down by your butt, on the sides of your legs. So in order to be diagnosed with fibromyalgia, at least 11 of those tender spots had to be active when pushed on. So basically the rheumatologist took his thumb and pressed it against my tender points until his fingernail blanched, like, white. And if it caused pain, I was to let him know. Sure enough, every freaking tender point he touched, I just screamed. Because, yeah, it's very painful. Nowadays, if you go see a rheumatologist, they don't rely on that, which I don't know why, because I think it was probably one of the best ways to determine. Now they just ask you, have you had chronic pain in 4 quadrants of your body? So upper, lower, left side, right side. If you've had chronic pain in all 4 quadrants for 3 months or more, then they diagnose you with fibromyalgia.
Oh, good God, I have. I'm just like, oh. I'm like, I'm not sure what's causing my pains, but it's there.
Yeah, and so this particular rheumatologist was very harsh, let's say. Like bedside manners.
Garbage. Basura.
Basura, garbage, not good at all. So he leaves the room after, pushing on me. And he didn't tell me why he was pushing on me, but from reading that little thing, I knew why he was doing it. And I was
Still,
like,
though, it'd be nice to know why this old man is groping you.
right. Exactly.
It's just like, okay, why is he trying to cause me physical pain?
And that he did.
Good God.
So he comes back in the room with a pamphlet, throws it at me, like tosses it on my lap, and says, "You have fibromyalgia." And the word I did not want to hear, right? I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, so, what does this mean? He's like, well, you'd be much better off if you had rheumatoid arthritis.
It's like, thanks, but I don't, so what do I do?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I said, well, am I going to die from this? Because I know really nothing about it. I'm like, is this going to get worse? Am I going to die from this? He's like, no, you're not going to die from it, but you'll wish you were dead. And I was like,
Okay.
alrighty then. And then he threw some kind of, it wasn't a pain pill. I'm not even sure if it's still on the market. It was kind of like a ibuprofen, but a more buffed up version of an ibuprofen.
Oh.
You know what I mean? A fancier one that you had to get a prescription for, right?
Basically just an NSAID on steroids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I tried that. Nothing. Didn't touch the pain, I left his office that day, again, crying because
It's like, I got bad news and I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and he tells me I'm going to want to die from it, Well, that's just not giving a person very much hope. So, I mean, this went on for a few years, and then I was in a bookstore, and I came across a book that said, Up Close and Personal with Your Fibromyalgia, right? And I flipped it over, and I'm reading the back cover of it, and it was written by a doctor, Mark Pellegrino, who happened to have fibromyalgia himself. So I was like, okay, cool. So I bought the book, took it home, read it. Very good book if you are someone who was just diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Mark Pellegrino, good book. And turns out, because I was living in Ohio at the time, turns out he had an office in Dover, Ohio, which was like an hour and a half from where I lived. So I made an appointment, went in. He talked with me. I told him about the rheumatologist and the tender points and how, and he was like, yeah, I definitely understand. He's like, I want you to try tramadol. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of it, but all right. And for me, at that particular time, that particular medication was a game changer. Like, did it get rid of the pain? No, but it took the edge off.
Tramadol is one of those things they give you in small doses. They used to give it to me when I was in the hospital, like if I would go in for my period cramps, but then it was upgraded to Dilaudid.
Yeah.
But then with Dilaudid, even still, they don't give me like a whole hell of a lot. I'm just like, I can still feel pain. They're like, we didn't give you a lot. We just took the edge off. I'm like,
yeah.
I want to feel nothing.
Nothing at all.
I want to be comfortably numb.
Yeah, exactly. But so I did, fairly well on that medication. I'm still on that medication actually, and so I've been on it for like 20 years now. Does it work like it did then? No. Obviously, no. You know,
Yeah.
You get immune to it. You know, I did have another doctor bump up the dose, but I just try to, I think as time goes by, it doesn't get better, but you do learn
To live with it.
You learn to live with it, and acceptance, like that's a really big thing. Accept it. Yeah, I mean, you know, I realize now that I'm never, ever going to have a day where I'm not in pain. Like, you know, we're sitting here now talking and I'm in pain. You know, it's not screaming, raging. I'm able to put it in the background, right? It's like background noise.
But it's always like white noise, like buzzing in the back of your head, like
yes,
always there.
Always there. And then there's what's called a fibromyalgia flare.
Oh, yeah.
Where, for whatever reason,
just intensifies. It's just like, oh, you having a good day, are you? Fuck you.
Fuck you. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So, you know, there are days when it flares. And where you and I live, in particularly, one day it's 80, right? The next day it's 40. And I think like tonight, or is it, I don't know, maybe tomorrow night, the low's 26 here, which is, you know, temperature fluctuation like that.
Oh, yeah, it's been flip-flopping for like weeks now. It's killing me.
Puts me over the frickin' edge with pain. Stress.
I feel you. My mom, she does not have fibromyalgia. She had degenerative discs in her back.
Yes.
And she needed to have surgery. First of all, her freaking surgeon was a fucking douchebag. And I will call him out, fucking Dr. Fejos in Middletown, Connecticut. Dude was a fucking douchebag. Okay?
Douchebag.
Like, my mom had the surgery. She had, you know, the discs removed, fused together, had a rod put in, and she had a stim put in her back.
Yeah.
And, you know, it had the little leads that would redirect the electrical impulses so she wouldn't really get the pain or as much pain.
Okay.
So after the surgery, as my mom's healing, she kept trying to tell them, something's not right. It feels like I'm being shocked in my tailbone. He brushes it off. He's just like, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out, the douchebag didn't do freaking x-rays after her surgery, and one of the leads came loose and ended up sitting at the base of her spine and was in fact zapping her.
Oh my God. Wow. And they probably just thought, oh, it's a little old lady, well, you know, she has pain.
The crazy thing is like, my mom, she's not even old. And
how old is your mom?
She's 64?
Oh, hell, she's young. Yeah.
But she was even younger, like, when she got happened. Surgery. Like, she got surgery when I was still in high school. So I was like 17, maybe? And there are days when freaking this weather just takes her out. She cannot deal with the cold because she's cold from the inside out. Because she has metal in there.
Yeah.
And some days are worse than others. And like you, she always deals with that pain that's just always freaking there. And it sucks because I'm sure it takes away like a lot of your ability to do things, especially during flare-ups. Like, it has to suck.
Yeah. It most definitely sucks. And, you know, interesting thing is I have a good friend who she put fibromyalgia on the map. Okay? So she's literally the author of An Idiot's Guide to Fibromyalgia.
Yes.
So, you know how they have idiots' guides and
To everything.
yes, and books for dummies, blah blah blah. Well, she's the idiot's guide side of that, and she wrote one on fibromyalgia. Check it out. Another good book. Lynn Maliana is her name, and hers started because you know you and I are going to get into anxiety and agoraphobia, right? I had a couple bad bouts. My first one was, you know, panic attacks, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. My second anxiety bout was brought on by my divorce. Okay. So I had all this stuff coming at me once, you know, a divorce. And then after the divorce came the whole thoughts of maybe I'm gay, maybe I'm not gay. So, you know, I just had all this stress, right? And then while I'm going through that, that's when the pain started, okay? So most people that have fibromyalgia, it's caused by emotional stress at one point that was like overwhelming, or an accident triggered it, like a car accident, something like that.
So trauma, like a big physical
Trauma.
or emotional, mental, like that's a huge thing for it.
Yes. Now, Lynn, hers started when she was, and Lynn, if you're watching this, I apologize, I can't remember. I want to say it was like it was some kind of female surgery. I don't know if it was a hysterectomy or what, right? But she woke up in the middle of the surgery.
God, that's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she woke up in the middle of the surgery, and then, you know, after she got home, she remembers being in her bathroom, and the next thing, she's laying on the bathroom floor screaming because her whole body is just in pain. You know, and she went through years and years of trying to find out what was wrong with her. And, you know, finally she received the diagnosis of fibromyalgia, and she had never heard of it. She owned a company. She ended up losing her company.
oh,
Didn't work, couldn't work. She was bedridden. She met, I think it was three other ladies, because there were four of them. And she ended up developing the National Fibromyalgia Association, the NFA. So there is an organization out there now, NFA, that Lynn created from her bed back in the day. Since then, she has she stepped down from being CEO of that, and she's starting her own pain specializing company that's going to be internet based, where you can see a doctor on the web. You know, talk about pain conditions, not just fibromyalgia, but you know, other chronic pain conditions.
like, can you prescribe weed medically?
Right. So, and there's an interesting fact. I don't know. Do you remember seeing the commercials for fibromyalgia?
I do actually.
Yeah, and it was all for a drug called Lyrica.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mom, I think, is
Tried
on
it,
it,
or is-
or I can never keep track.
Yeah, there's one called gabapentin.
Oh, she was on that too for nerve damage.
Yes. So Lyrica is just gabapentin, but they put a few more ingredients in it, jazzed it up a little, and put a high price tag on it.
You bastards.
That's all they did to it.
Yeah,
There
fucking bastards.
in the pharmaceutical world. But anyway, so before these commercials came out, right? They ran it. Pfizer ran the very first commercial before it aired by my friend Lynn. And they said, we want you to watch this and tell us what you think. And pretty much, she told him it was shit. Because it depicted a rich lady getting out of, I believe, a limousine with a fur, slipping it off and slipping into her hot tub. Which does not appeal to people in the real world.
That doesn't pertain to 99.9% of the populace. Like, I don't own a fur, never wanted to, and never, if I want a hot tub, I gotta go in my bathtub and fucking turn the water on as hot as possible.
Exactly.
What kind of shit is that?
So yeah, so she basically told them, if you air this, any funding that you're getting. So, you know, they did change it, you know, and, you know, shows like, you know, a woman and, oh, I was in pain. My doctor said it might be fibromyalgia. But, you know, but it's so much more than pain is what they don't understand, right?
I imagine there's a lot of side issues that come with it, especially on the psychological side.
Amen. The anxiety, bad, depression, sleep issues.
Damn, maybe I really do have fibromyalgia.
Yeah, sleep issues, irritable bowel syndrome is another one. So it's not just you're in pain 24/7. You've got all this other shit going. And probably one of the scarier ones is called fibrofog. And my my employees when I worked for T-Mobile would ask me, are you cloudy, partly cloudy, is it partly sunny? Because they knew if they told me something important, I was gonna forget it.
Oh, it causes memory issues?
It causes memory issues. Like, I can't remember shit. Like, you know, you can show me something, how to do it, 2 minutes later,
Gone.
I haven't retained that.
Oh.
And it's rough. It almost feels like there's a veil, like a thin veil that lays across my brain or my head, right? And I can't think through it. I can't think outside of it. And when I'm not feeling particularly good, like you can see it in my expressions, my face, like that episode that we taped when you were on your period and we were taping on your bed. I look like ass. And,
so do I.
you know, we both felt like shit that day. I didn't really share that with you, but...
It's okay if you look shitty. I'm just saying, like, everyone has some days. You don't always have to look good.
No.
Especially if you feel particularly bad, like...
Yeah. And I mean, that's another thing. They look at... Not all doctors. It's not fair to paint all doctors that way, but they look at fibromyalgia as a waste bucket disease, right? So if they can't find out what's causing your pain, they slap you with fibromyalgia, right? Okay. So, and some doctors will joke about it, you know, amongst each other. She's got fibromyalgia, you know, especially back in the early days, they'd be like, she's crazy.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Back in the day, they tried to freaking cure, like, women's hysteria with masturbation. I'm not saying it's wrong, I mean... But I'm just saying. Like, apparently, you know, if a woman cries too much, it's hysteria.
No, of course. But I mean, do I believe that they misdiagnose and use that label inappropriately? Yes, because I will come across people who tell me, oh, I have fibromyalgia. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, what are your symptoms? Where do you hurt? Oh, I hurt real bad on my shoulder. Okay, where else do you hurt?
And?
Literally. I'm like, well, where else do you hurt? It's just my shoulder. It hurts really bad. That's it?
It sounds more like nerve damage than anything.
Right. You know, so that doesn't even qualify as fibromyalgia, right? It's not left, right, top, bottom. It's in one spot. And doctors are just throwing that diagnosis at someone instead of really looking to see what's wrong with their shoulder, you know? And to me, I don't know, that's not cool. It gives fibromyalgia a bad name. These poor people are probably suffering from something that's curable or fixable. You know, hell, you might have a torn rotator cuff.
Oof.
Who knows? Right?
Yeah. Although, let me tell you, healing from one of those surgeries is like the worst. It's the worst. My mom had it done, and after 4 back surgeries, she said that one, her rotator cuff, was the worst freaking surgery she ever had to heal from.
Really?
Yeah. It's brutal.
Ooh. I would think a metal rod in the spine would be the worst, but...
No. Freaking, and I remember taking care of her, too, after her rotator cuff surgery. And, like, I had to change her ice pack, like, every couple of hours. It was, like, this huge freaking ice pack. And she had to, like, lay a certain way. And, they had her drugged up.
Oh,
like,
man.
It was bad.
Wow. She's been through the gamut of... And didn't you just say she broke something or injured something recently, right?
Her arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Man. You know, another, like... I'll talk some more symptoms to you. Allodynia is the word. It affects your skin, right? My skin at times will feel like I have a sunburn. You know how your skin feels when you get a sunburn? That real sore, burnt, stingy.
Yep.
Yeah, my skin will just do that for no reason at all. It's usually my arms or my face. Sometimes if I'm out in the rain and the cold raindrops hit me, it feels like someone's throwing fucking lit matches at your ass. Just like,
oh no.
Yeah, like that shit hurts.
What's funny is the sensation that you're describing. Every once in a while, I will get that feeling like up my spine, just on the skin over my spine. I'm just like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm just like, this is also why I don't want to have kids. My genetics are terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, goody. Oh, loaded gun. A bullet in every chamber.
Right. And I mean, that's another thing. Like, you know, can it be genetic? I will say this. Some of my earliest childhood memories of my grandmother, of walking into her house. You know, most kids, oh, I smell grandma's cookies or whatever. Not my high. I remember the smell of Absorbing Junior and Bengay.
I like the smell of Bengay.
Do you?
It reminds me of my dad. For whatever reason, like he would get home from work and just rub on Bengay, and I'm like, smells minty.
Yes, it's very minty. But that's I remember her house always smelling like that, and I remember her complaining that she hurt all the time. And I had asked my aunt one time, I'm like, what's wrong with grandma, you know? And she'd be like, because, like, why isn't Grandma going to church with us this Sunday? Oh, her rheumatism is bothering her. So back then, it wasn't called fibromyalgia. They didn't really know what was causing her pain. So they just called it rheumatism, right?
I got the rheumatism.
I got the rheumatism. Yes.
You know what? Me and my sister will joke about that sometimes. I'm just like, oh dear God, my joints. She's like, you got the rheumatism? Yes. I got the rheumatism in my joints.
Yes. So no, literally, that's what it was referred to back then. Before they, dove deeper into it. And my dad. So my grandma, her son, my dad.
Oh.
I would come home from school, or it would be the weekends. He would be on the couch in pain. And he would say, "Can you rub my legs for me? They hurt."
Oof.
And like, I had forgotten all about that stuff from my childhood until this happened. And then it just all kind of clicked one day. Like, I'll be damned. I bet they both had it, And
it's so strange because the sensations that you're describing is like also the sensations that a lot of people get with like neuropathy, which is nerve damage or nerves dying. And it's so freaking bizarre to me. The human body is so flawed that there are just so many things that have the same symptoms, and it's just like, and then you have to go through all this shit to figure out what the hell's wrong with you.
You really do. And that's why, like, you want to find a good physician who knows what the hell they're doing, because fibromyalgia mimics other conditions. It mimics lupus. It mimics MS. It can mimic neuropathy and things like that. So you have to get all that other shit ruled out, and get the proper diagnosis. There's still, still no calls, no cure. Here we are 20 some years later in my case, and they still know very little about it. They do understand that it's something, the way the brain is processing pain. So it's kind of like it's sending out false signals throughout the body of pain. To me, I've always thought of it like, because I truly believe that stressful situation caused it, right? And I feel like I flipped some kind of a stress response switch in my body, and I'll never be able to flip it back to the way it was.
Yeah, it's just like something short-circuited and it's never gonna heal.
Yeah.
Because that's the crazy thing. Like, the brain, it doesn't get better. Like, it does not heal.
Right.
Like, in the case of things like dementia and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can never go back. And it's like the one organ in your body that just absolutely refuses to freaking fix itself. It's like, okay then, it's fine. You don't want to work anymore.
Yeah. It's very scary. Brain controls a lot, And have you ever heard of neuroplastic pain?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
So probably about a month and a half ago, I ordered a book, and it talks about neuroplastic pain, which is pain that's not caused by something, right? So kind of like phantom pain, like someone who's missing a limb. And I found this fascinating from the book. The people who have phantom pain, let's say I was missing my right arm. the way they treat that for the phantom pain is they use cognitive behavior, like self-talk, right? Mm-hmm. But they trick the brain. They have the person stand in front of the mirror because your image reflects opposite when you're looking in the mirror, right? Mm-hmm. So you're getting these pain signals, but you're looking in the mirror and you're telling yourself, I'm fine, I'm healthy, there's no reason for this pain, and then other affirmations that are positive. And believe it or not, it changes the pain response in those people to like where they almost don't have the phantom pain anymore. Just from, and that's kind of like what the whole premise of this book was talking about is, when you find yourself in pain, explore it from a curiosity. Like don't tense up against it. Don't say things like, this is never going to get better. This is the worst I've ever been, blah, 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 blah. All the shit that I used to do, And I think something else that has helped me is, like in the beginning, I was just so devastated and afraid and scared of the future. Like, what am I going to be like when I get this age? And am I going to be able to work? And, all these scary thoughts. So I would research the shit out of fibromyalgia. I mean, I have books in my closet that I bought, right? And I would always find the scariest shit on the internet.
Of course.
You know how that works. Mm-hmm. You have something, you Dr. Google it.
Freaking WebMD.
WebMD. Man.
Oh my God, I'm sneezing and I have a slight fever and I'm sweaty. I have malaria.
Yes. WebMD is the worst doctor ever. Don't go to him. Jesus, stay away from him. But yeah, so, I mean, I've come a long way. And, it's something to be proud of. So, like, in short, I want to say, if you're someone who has been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, or you might think that you have fibromyalgia, it's not a death sentence, right? It's not the end of your life. There's many people who have it and go on to live very productive, meaningful lives.
Be a Linda. Everyone be a Linda.
Be a Linda. So, yeah, I mean, don't be the one who gets caught up in the negative of it, because there's a lot of online support groups. I know, because I used to be a moderator for an online support group. And it was negative, complain. And when you're caught up in that way of thinking, you ain't going to get better.
That's true.
You ain't going to feel better at all. So you got to break out of that cycle. You got to learn how to think positive. You got to exercise. That does help. We kind of touched on that with your...
I love it. Every doctor, you need to exercise. I can't get out of bed.
Right.
I'll sit there and exercise in my bed.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you can do at that moment, right?
I do it. I'm not even going to lie. The first thing I do, even before I get out of my bed, is I stretch. And let me tell you, it's the best feeling in the world. I'm just like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, a good stretch is good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, well, last night was a bad night for sleeping because I would cramp. You ever have your foot cramp?
Oh, God.
And your toes curl under and you gotta... I kept doing that all night.
I will get cramps in the arch of my foot.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the worst. Down. I'm just like, oh, dear God, what is that? I'm like, it feels like I stepped on a Lego.
Oh, yeah. Yes, and the Lego went inside you and is now in your bloodstream. Oh,
It's
yes.
the worst feeling ever.
And there's some days, I'll show you someday when it's really flaring up and being stupid. Like, you'll be able to sit and watch my muscles just thump underneath the skin,
Ugh.
like babies kicking.
Oh,
So I just always pretend like, it's aliens getting ready to come out of my skin. Because I can literally just sit there and watch it go thump, 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 thump. And it can do it anywhere. Sometimes I'll get it in my eye and it'll just
oh God.
thump, 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 twitch, twitch. But yeah, it's crazy. There's all kinds of symptoms from it. But the good news is it's not going to go away. Anyone who says they've been cured of it, I call bullshit. You probably didn't have it to begin with. And no one I know of personally has ever been cured from it.
Not saying it's impossible, it's just improbable.
Improbable. Yeah. But I guess I just want people to know that there's hope. Because I know how lonely and isolating, and especially when people don't believe you. Mm-hmm. There's women out there, and that it does affect more women than men.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Like everything else.
I know some guys that have had it. A guy that I actually talked to, he was on The West Wing. Do you remember that show, The West Wing?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was about the president. I think it was on CBS, and he played Captain Mike. And Captain Mike. And he had to quit The West Wing because of his fibromyalgia. Lady Gaga has canceled many shows because she has fibromyalgia.
Oh.
Sinead O'Connor, the Irish singer, she had to quit her singing career because she had fibromyalgia.
I thought it was because she went like crazy, but okay.
Well, she's crazy too, but God love her. I feel bad for her, especially this past month and a half. Her son committed suicide.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yes, and then she put out this really cryptic Instagram message that was like, I've lost my son, my baby boy. He meant everything to me. I'm going to go join him. Anyway, she's in the hospital now. Last I read, she's getting some help.
Good.
Yes, very, very
Although,
good.
you know what's crazy? When you were talking about like exploring your pain and like the curiosity and everything, there are certain things that I would do. I don't know why I would do them. Like how I was telling you that my wisdom teeth were like impacted and partially erupted.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it would hurt to press on that area, but I would still fucking do it. All the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with me?
No, there's something about human nature. You're not the only one. I do stupid shit like that too. Like I know it's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna do it.
Like every once in a while, like I'll be working like on a spiral notebook and I'll press my thumb against the metal spiral. And I don't know why. I'm just like, this pain. It's painful, but I kind of enjoy it. I don't know why.
Oh, you know what makes me mad, especially in this town, is these shirts that I see that say pain is weakness leaving the body. I want to say, motherfucker, you've never had fibromyalgia. Like, I want to punch him in the mouth.
I can honestly say I do appreciate like some of the pain that I suffer through, because now I have a high ass tolerance for pain.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's great. People are just like, oh, well, when you get tattoos, you can get the numbing gel. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't need no damn numbing gel.
No.
And you shouldn't use it either.
Yeah, me neither. No.
You know why? Because it's worth it. Getting tattooed, the pain, you gotta go through it.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
Earn that
like,
damn tattoo.
Let me tell you, it is so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I'd be going to sleep during my tattoos. The first tattoo I ever got, right? I was 18 years old, and my parents were just like, well, if you wait until you're 18 to get tattooed, we'll take you and we'll pay for it. I was like, okay, super. On my birthday, like right after I get out of work, my mom's like, okay, let's go. Oh, where are we going? So we go to the tattoo parlor, and she's just like, okay, got the tattoo. I was just like, okay, I want it on my pelvis.
Oh.
Yeah. They're just like, are you sure that's a very tender area for a first tattoo? I want it on my pelvis.
Oof.
And like when I say my pelvis, like literally these tattoos are sitting right here.
I'm looking at, okay. Oh.
Yep.
Girl.
So they're right there.
Right by the bone.
Yep. And as he's tattooing, he has to sit there and stop and yell at me because I'm laughing. He's just like, you need to sit still. I'm like, I can't help it. I was like, it tickles.
Oh my golly. Well, God love her. She's a little special.
I'm a lot special.
A lot special.
There's not a pill for what's wrong with me, okay?
That's fair. Awesome. So, in closing, do you have any other questions? Or now I think you know a little bit more about me, because you and I have never talked about that.
Like, I knew this was something that you suffered through, but before now, I didn't know what it was. Like, now I'm just like, okay, so this is pretty much a big fuck you to the nervous system. Good shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Amen. So if you or someone you know has fibro, please see someone reputable, and don't think everything is fibromyalgia, because I swear, Flo, I'll probably die of something, because when you have fibro and you have other pain going on, you just brush it off. It's my fibro, right?
Yep.
Look at that fucking Pac-Man in there eating my intestines.
Every time I have a freaking ovarian cyst, is this appendicitis or is this a cyst? We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Same way, you know.
It's scary as hell. I'm just like, well, if I go to sleep and it's appendicitis, I won't be waking up.
Exactly. Chest pains. No, it's just fibro. Whew. But anyway, until next time, and I'm hoping we're getting a special guest in here real soon.
Yes.
Yay! Actually, we're gonna do a couple shows with some special guests.
Yes.
Yay!
You're gonna see my work husband, and you're gonna hear Honeybat, because Honeybat has decided he does not want to show his face, which I respect.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So we'll hear his voice, and
nice.
yeah, and then yeah.
Yeah, because we got some good topics for those guests, so I love it.
So everyone, be safe. Freaking don't diagnose yourselves. WebMD is shit.
Exactly. We've learned a lot today. So let's wrap this baby up.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm Hot Topic Flo.
And I am My High. And we will see you next time. Take care.
I feel as if we should have like an exit song.
Everybody says